Byron. I must look so white in this light. A few years ago I was donating blood, and I went in and signed all the forms, and I was sitting in the waiting room to go in and give the blood, and this lady came out with the nurses and said, "Oh, darling, look at you. Look, come in and have your tea and your Vicky." I said, "I haven't even been in yet." My mum's a good root. Now, that's what my dad told me about 23 years ago when he'd had a few beers. You know, your mum's a good root. Well, 23 years later, I'm still trying to work out whether I should high-five him or say thank you very much. I have no comeback to that. The internet is destroying children, I think. That's my statement on it. As far as porn goes, kids don't have to work for porn anymore. In my days, you had to work for your porn. Like, kid's in his room, he thinks, "Oh, I'm going to look at some porn." Click, he's got porn. In my days, someone would ring someone and say, "I've got some porn." And say, "I'll meet you at the park in 20 minutes. So then someone would call someone and someone would call someone, and 20 minutes later you could look out your bedroom window and your street no longer looked like a street, it looked like the plains of Africa with a bison migration going on. But instead of bison, it was 12, 13-year-old horny boys with one thing on their mind, to get to the park and look at that porn. Also too, where do you look at porn? Kids nowadays can look at porn in their bedroom. "Oh, I've got to look at some porn. In my room, click. Oh, there it is." Back in my day, you had to wait around for maybe a week till everyone was outside of the house, and you had it all to yourself. You thought, right, it's on. You'd go into your mum and dad's room, you'd think, where is it? And you're under a time constraint because you know someone's coming home soon. 9 times out of 10 it'd be in dad's socks and undies drawer. You'd whip it out, flick through it, like I said, time constraint. Try to suck in as much of that as you could. The other thing is too, when someone came home, because you knew someone was coming home. So nowadays, kids, they hear the car come in the driveway or the key in the lock, click, it's gone. My day, you'd have to pull your pants back up. You'd have to put the porn back in the drawer exactly how you found it. You'd then have to race out of the room as fast and as silently as you could, with a half-beaten erection in your pants and a knob that felt like electricity was running through it. Then you get out into the lounge room, dive face first onto the couch, and then act as if you were bored or you'd just been asleep. When I did eventually lose my virginity, I said to my dad, "Dad, it's on tonight." The mum said, "I can stay over." So I went out there and he was all, good. So I went out there and did the job very, very well. Went home the next day. On the couch in the morning, he came out of the room. Mum's in the kitchen, so we couldn't talk. And he looked at me and he went, and I went, and he went. That's all that was ever said about it. A mate called me the other day. He said, "Oh, I just got Nintendo Wii. Do you want to come around and play it?" I said, "Wii? I haven't played Wii in years." I said, "My brother and I used to play that." He goes, "Well, it's a new thing." "No, we were playing it about 1984, 85. "What?" So I went out that way. I said, "Yeah, look, my brother would stand there and do a wee, and it would be a big arc of wee. And my part of the game would be to run or ride my bike underneath it before he could drop it." "Sure, if you want, I'll come around and play." When we were young, be in the car, my mum, dad, brother, sister, going on long car trips, that whole thing of we're going to drive all through the night, so beat all the traffic. So we'd be in the back of the car, no DVD players in those days, no entertainment, just sitting there bored. And someone would say, "Mum, write my name." And we all knew what that meant. That meant Mum would take out a Winnie Red, put it in, spark it up, suck the guts out of that bad boy, turn around in the darkness, and if she was doing me, she'd go, J-O-H-N. Beautiful to watch and fucking mind-blowing to a 7-year-old. So she'd do the rest of us, And we might only have a 2-hour trip, but we'd have to pull into a servo. One of the kids would get set in for a fresh pack of Winnie Reds because she'd already gone through one. And we only had another hour to go on the trip. Now that's fucking parenting. Thank you, Mum. Not only a good route, but a good sport. Also, girlfriend's just pregnant. I've done something right with my life. So I can do nothing right. The other night she sent me around to IGA for some seedless grapes. I'm in the car going, please be seedless grapes, please be seedless grapes. Went in, found some seedless grapes. I was so relieved. I walked up to the counter and I said to the girl, I'm so relieved you've got seedless grapes for my pregnant girlfriend. I said, because if you didn't, I would have had to have bought normal grapes, and for the next 40 minutes of my life I'd be sitting in the driveway sucking the seeds out of these bad boys before I took them inside. Being pregnant, my girlfriend has a heightened sense of smell. She can fucking smell colour. She can just smell everything. Things make her sick. She loves something one day, the next day it makes her sick. So I thought, well, you could be put to good use. Why couldn't you get a job at the airport as a bloody sniffer dog? Put a little harness on you, a little fluoro bib, walk you through the crowds, you sniff the bags, glare at the people, it'll all be good. I actually rang the airports and I said, look, I've got an idea for you people, why don't you start using pregnant women as sniffer dogs? And the fella said, funny you should say that. He said, we actually trialled it a few years ago, but we didn't find it economically viable. I said, why is that? He said, oh, every 5 minutes we'd have to take him outside for a piss on the grass. I said, oh, fair enough. When I was a bit younger, every Tuesday night was lesbian night at the peep shows. So, mate and I would go. Anyway, the peeps, I don't know, a couple of you might not have been there. You walk up a set of seedy stairs, and at the top there's all these sort of like toilet booths around a central stage. So you go in, you walk into the booth, one each, you lock the door, and it's just not good. The smell in there is like victory and despair. It's just a horrible smell. The floor is so sticky. There's a frosted little window in front of you like this, and there's a bucket of tissues beside you. And you're thinking, where has my life gone? Anyway, you put your money in, you put $2 in, and you get 40 seconds. So you put your $2 in, the screen goes clear, and you get to watch the lesbian act for 40 seconds. Ooh, oh yeah. So if you like it, the screen will go frosty again, you put another $2 in. This time that I was there, I liked it, so I went to get another $2 out of my pocket. So I'm down like this in my pocket, pulling it out, and as I'm pulling my hand out, on the outside of my hand is my house key. So as I pop it out, I watch in slow motion as my house key falls towards that cum bucket. I thought, if that goes, oh, serves me right, easy. I thought, if that key goes in, I will never, ever, ever see the inside of my house again. But the key hit the edge. It was like a scene out of Lord of the Rings. The key hit the edge, it spun. Unlike Gollum, if it dropped the other way, I wasn't jumping in after it. But it spun on the edge, and I was just thinking, I can just picture the neighbours now. I'll be out in the backyard of the house, nude, having a shower under the hose. She'll say, why does our next door neighbour live in a box in his backyard? And he'll say, oh dear, he lost his key in the cum bucket. So now whenever I'm walking down the street and I see a homeless man, I give him an all-knowing wink because I know his key dropped in the cum bucket.
Give it over to John. In doing this course, I always ask people what they do. And interestingly, am I allowed to say what you do? Are you top secret?
No, it's all right.
Sorry. No, John's pilot, and once a week he flies to LA, right? And I went, cool. And I went, from a point of view as a passenger, I don't want to know my pilot wants to be a fucking comic. I want my pilot to be fucking focused on flying. I don't want him thinking of fucking jokes about cum buckets. I fucking want him on the job. I don't want him to have a pregnant wife. I don't want to have him anything but fucking focus. I went, oh, I won't be flying again. I'll be getting the bus.